Well, I don't quite know how it's happened, but it's been about 5 months since my last video. But surprisingly, I've still been getting new subscribers to my channel. So if you are a new subscriber, thank you, because that's helped encourage me to get back today to doing some new videos. And if you're an older subscriber, then thank you for sticking around and waiting for me to get my life together. While I've not been making videos, I have still been doing some creative activities. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen some bits and pieces that I've been doing in the meantime. And I've still been getting lots of ideas for videos. So I've got a massive amount of ideas, and it's kind of like, what do I narrow it down to like start with today? So one of the things I've been wanting to share with you is some of my recent sketches, but there's that little part of my brain which likes things to be done logically. It's a very little part. And because of that, I feel like I can't show you my recent sketches until I've showed you all my old ones. So if you've been here for a while, you might have seen my videos where I shared these albums that I created. So there was one which was all my artwork from my school years, and there was one which was all my college artwork, and then the third one, which is actually the smallest one, which makes me sad, is everything after college until now, which was just on loose sheets of paper. My next thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to share this little sketchbook with you, which is my oldest still intact sketchbook. But that's also not true, because it's now no longer still intact. What happened was there were so few sketches actually in this book, and I decided I wanted to use the book for a different project. Actually for notes really, and I thought what I'd do is I'd film a flip through of those few sketches, and then afterwards I would take those sketches out and put it in my album. But of course, because I'd not felt up to doing videos, I actually ended up taking those sketches out and putting them in the album first. So instead of showing you my oldest intact sketchbook, I'm going to show you the ripped out pages. So we'll change the camera angle, and then I'll show you those few pages that were in that book. Okay, so these first three sketches were from the end of 2013. So this is approximately 18 months after my husband died, and I decided that I wanted to get back into sketching again. So this was my cat that I had at the time, sadly no longer with us, and just two sketches of him sleeping on my lap. And then this one was just a small section of my living room. I'm guessing this was a day when it was like I had that urge to sketch, but I didn't really know what to draw. I didn't have anything in particular to draw, so I just drew what was in front of me. Okay, and then around about this part it starts to get a little bit more interesting, because these are sketches from holidays and days out. So we've jumped now to 2015, so there's big gaps between my starting and stopping my sketching. This one is Mullion Cove in Cornwall, where I went with my parents, and I didn't sketch it on location. This was done from a photo later the same day. And on the next page that I'll show you, there's another view of Mullion Cove from a different holiday, where I'm actually over on the other side looking back this way. So you'll see that shortly. And then this one is a water fountain at Buscott Park, which is a National Trust property fairly near where I live. And you know what they say, when you're sketching, like, you absorb so much more information about what's going on around you at the time. And when I look at this sketch, I remember there were two older ladies sat further round on the bench. I don't know, you probably can't recognise what it is from my sketch, but there's like a a curved bench behind, and there was also a curved bench this side of the water and the fountain. And the two ladies were talking about medicine that's made from snail shells or seashells or something like that. That led them on to talking about Dr. Dolittle being filmed at Castle Combe. And I just remember like hearing that conversation while I was sat sketching. It's funny what memories the sketches bring back. And then this one, I didn't even really want to draw this, but again, this was on holiday with my mum and dad, and we're now 2017, so we've jumped on another 2 years again. And I was with my parents, and they decided they were going to go for a walk up a really steep hill, and I didn't want to go up the hill. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to stay down here and do a sketch. And then I was like looking around for something to sketch. So this was just like a rotten tree stump that was just left behind that I drew. So again, it's like that memory that's attached with this rather random looking sketch. And this one, Courts Garden, which again is another National Trust property within a sort of hour or so drive from where I live, I think. And the proportions are very wrong on this. These little bendy things which look like jelly beans, they were actually huge yew trees, and the house in the background should have been much smaller in proportion, but it's a memory from the day. But the main thing that sticks out in my mind from drawing this, I did actually draw this one on location, is this sundial. And while I was sat sketching it, there was a family came along. It was a couple with a young son. I've no idea how old he was, 5 or 6 maybe even younger, I don't know, I'm not good at judging ages. And they pointed towards the sundial and they said, can you remember what that's called? And he said very confidently, a tulip. And they were like, no, it's not tulip. And I don't know whether there were tulips further on that he thought they were pointing at, or what the situation was, I don't know. But then obviously he realised they were talking about the sundial, and he went, oh, it's a clock. And I just thought that was so sweet. So he knew what it was, he knew what it was used for, but it was just the confidence with which he said tulip. And like, again, when I look at this sketch, I just think about tulips. And here we are, we're still 2017. So this is the one I mentioned just now, the opposite view of Mullion Cove. Hang on, let me just grab the other sketch to compare. So this one, you're looking out towards sea, sort of past this kind of harbour sort of area. And then from this one, we're actually on this kind of pier type structure, looking back towards this house or this building from the back, and looking up towards the boats here. But like I say, this one was 2015 and this one was 2017. This one was done from a photo, whereas this one was done on location. And I did it really quick because one thing that's, you know, if you're sketching on location and you've got other people with you, if they are not also sketching, you don't want to keep them hanging around. So my mum and dad were kind of having a wander around, but I just did this sketch really quickly because I didn't want to keep them waiting too long. And then this one, which is local to where I live, I'm actually like really happy with this. And up until now, all the sketches in this particular sketchbook that they'd come out of, they're all just pencil. And there's a huge jump here to pen and obviously colour. Now this was mostly watercolour, but I think I did also use a couple of like watercolour pencils to just get a few of the extra details in. I can't remember 100%. I say that was 2017, so You know, it's been quite a while, but I'm still really happy with this one. This one, not so much. There was a small group of us went to my friend's house and we kind of had like a little sketching afternoon. And this was one of my friend's ornaments that I decided to draw. Quite happy with the vase, but the fake flowers, I just really couldn't get the colour right on the roses. But apart from that, it's not too bad. It's just the colour of the roses really. And then this one was still 2017. The little teddy, very out of proportion. His head is not really bigger than his body. And this case, if you saw, I want to say recent series, but obviously it's not that recent because it's over 5 months ago. But if you saw the series of videos I did where I was relining an old case, that's this case. And the teddy was a gift that was sent to me by a close friend when my husband had died, sort of 5 years previous to this. And this one, we're now 2018. Again, on holiday with my parents. And we went to this place, the cafe. There were so many sparrows after all the crumbs from the sandwiches and cakes and everything. And I took quite a few photos, and then later at the same day I did this sketch from one of the photos, and I absolutely love this sketch. It's like one of my favourites. My only criticism of myself would be I wished I'd moved him over a little bit so I could have got his whole tail in. But other than that, I'm really happy with how he looks. This one, again, not so much. Alarond, it's like quite a famous house which is owned again by the National Trust, and it's 16 sides to the house. I think it's 16. And I did the sketch on location. My perspective is so wrong. I can't, like when I looked at the photos afterwards and compared it to the sketch that I'd done on site, it's like, how on earth did I get the perspective so wrong? But I then added colour, which sort of disguised it a little bit. So I'm still not happy with it, but I'm more happy with it than I had been when it was just the black and white sketch. So then this is the last couple of pages which I'd completed in that little black sketchbook. But actually, in between the Alarond disaster that I just showed you, which was 2018, and this is 2022, there was actually something else in between. So after that, I did actually start this sketchbook, which is a one-a-day sketch. And the plan was to do a sketch every day for a year. Spoiler alert, I did not do that, but I did manage 6 months. But that will be in another video. I don't want to interrupt this one to start something different. So yeah, so that one comes next. Do you want a quick peek? So that'll be either my next video, or if not the actual next video, it'll be the next one where I'm sharing sketches. Anyway, so 2022 was when I started watching more sketching videos on YouTube, and I discovered Sketchbook School, and I really liked how, you know, in their videos, it's not pressure to do things necessarily technically accurate. It's more about the enjoyment and just trying things out, and like less pressure. And I think that appealed to me. And one of the suggestions that was made was to take a page from your sketchbook and divide it up into small little sections, and just do like a little corner of your house in each of the boxes. And each one of those things on its own is nothing special really, but there's something about a collection of small sketches on a page, which just looks nice. And the other thing which was mentioned was about maybe pick one colour and just do something in some of the pictures or all of the pictures with one colour just to tie it together. You might recognise the arm of my chair from an earlier one I showed you. Same chair. And then these, well, I say they're quotes, but it's not really quotes. I actually done this on the front page of that little black sketchbook. But I've put it in here because time-wise this is where it fits, because these were also quotes or suggestions from Danny Gregory at Sketchbook School. So never compare yourself to other artists. You're making more progress than you think, and everyone struggles at the beginning. And I just thought they were nice things to have in the front of a sketchbook. You know, no pressure. Don't put more pressure on yourself than there needs to be. And, you know, just take it as it comes. So I like that. And then this one, again, similar to here, taking the idea of the multiple boxes, but this represents a day out that I had with a friend. She treated me to, we went to go and see a falconry display, and then we had tea and cake, and it was a lovely, lovely day out. So that's the end of the pages which I took out of this little sketchbook. I mean, you can see, you know, how many pages were in the book, and I only had, what, 15 or 16 sketches in there. So I'd moved on then to other sketchbooks, and I just realistically knew I wasn't going to come back and sketch in this one again. Although I really liked the book, as I said at the beginning, I decided to use the book for something completely different, and that's why I took those pages out to put in my album. So now I can put these pages back in the album. Obviously I took them out so that I wasn't fighting with the glare of the plastic sleeves. And then, because my next task is to try and edit this video, see if I can remember how to use the software. It's been a while. And I've got quite a bit of editing to do because I had to keep stopping while filming this. My cat came clattering through the cat flap. Then he came in and was meowing at me. Then he was scratching in the litter tray and did a stinky poop. Then we sorted that out. I started filming again. Then immediately, like within seconds, my neighbour started mowing the lawn. So I had to stop again. Then the next time when I tried to start, then my cat did a wee in the litter tray, and it's like, oh my goodness, how many interruptions can I have? It's like it's taken me 5 months to get to this point, and now it's like all these interruptions trying to stop me doing it. So we got through it. Now I just need to edit it, and hopefully I will remember how to do the editing. And like I said, the next one will be showing you my sketch a day for 6 months. So thank you very much for watching. I hope it's been worth the wait. I'll see you soon, hopefully sooner than 5 months. Bye for now.